Tiffany, within 2 seconds. You just beat everybody. Reese, Tiffany got the first prize today by far. David and Excalibur and everybody else is fast asleep. Hello, Avatar, Reese, Tiffany. Oh, does it? Reese says that on his screen it says that he's first. On my screen, Tiffany came within 2 seconds of me going live. 2 or 3 seconds. It was like the fastest I've ever seen. Hello, Layla. Layla thinks she's first. Now, it's a total chaos. My screen shows Tiffany being the first one to say hi and write a comment about 2 or 3 seconds, not more than after I signed on. And then Reese's screen says that he is first. And Layla now seems like she says that she's first. So looks like everybody's first. Tiffany says, I shared yesterday's talk with 5 people. Thank you very much, Tiffany. So sweet of you. Mary Ellis, where have you been? Yeah, how come you were absent, Mary Ellis? For actually, I didn't have a live talk for 4 or 5 days before yesterday. And then yesterday was the first time, I think, after a while. Or was it? No, day before yesterday. When I was actually, before coming online, I was joking to death. Having some almond jumped in my throat while I was careless. Having too many in my mouth. My day is just beginning, really. It's only what, about 1:30 in the afternoon of Sunday. It's been a little bit of a busy week. Now it is you know, the weather was sunny during the last week, but now it's a little bit colder. It was raining yesterday all day, and today is kind of overcast and all that, but it's very pleasant, and it's good to be with you guys. And I have a great tea here I found recently. It's really nice. It's pomegranate, raspberry, and some of the stuff in it, hibiscus and stuff like that. Alexandra, hello. Mehta, hello. Oh no, it's not. That's, oh, the African woman says hello to Mehta, and that is, let me remember. Amin, right? Amin. Am I right? Amin is the screen name for, is the real name for a screen name African woman? Yeah, Amina. I think it was Amina. So Mariellis is having beer, not tea. Okay, bonsai. And Aso says, Mehran, is there such thing as addictive personality? I don't know. I don't think so. It's just a personality, and some people maybe like that person or that personality. But, and you could maybe be interested in that person's behavior or persona or character, or the way you're being treated, or wisdom or whatever, and you may find that you want to you know, kind of try to see how you would incorporate those characters, some of those characteristics in yourself. Maybe that's what it could mean. Layla says, you look so fresh. Why not that tea bad? If you're talking to me, it's probably the tea. Yeah, I said it right, Amina. That's right. So, African woman changed my name again from Mehran to Mehrab. Now, you call me Mehrab one more time, I'm going to call you Amino instead of Amina. She says, Mehrab, what do you think of online day? Online day, I joined an Islamic one. It feels awal. It feels awal. What does awal means? Awal, I think in Arabic means first, number one. So is that supposed to mean, if it's used in sentence, meaning that it's good? Because I don't understand what that means. And I don't know about online day. Or you mean online dating? So finally, Amina, African woman, is going to fix my name instead of Mehrab to, she says, sorry about typing. What do you think of online dating? Oh, I see. Online dating. Well, I have a video on online dating. I mean, pretty soon I think I will have enough videos that if anybody asks me a question anywhere, I'll just say, refer to the video title this, and I will not speak anymore. It's just I'll be a reference reference guy. What is your question, ma'am, sir? Oh, I see. That question is answered in the video number so and so. Please, here's your prescription. That would make it easy for me, and I can handle many discussions, thousands, by just handing out which video addresses that question. David, hello, Mehran from Texas, age 23. See, David is such a civilized and helpful person. Always easily says Dallas, Texas, age 23, and we know he's a man. So, so it's very on with the protocol. Good to see you here, David. I think you were missed yesterday. Were you here yesterday or were you absent? Now, we are moving up the charts. We are now over 14,100, which a month ago we were simply 13,060. And suddenly we have 140 jump within last week, which is good news, which means all you guys' effort and help by sharing the videos that you like on your social media is actually paying off and putting us on the map. The live talks apparently have been helping a lot because it has a longer duration of watch time, minutes of watch time. So I appreciate all your help. And I'll do my part here by new videos and trimming. I stayed home yesterday, Saturday, for probably, I think it was till 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock that I finished trimming the last live talk. There were so many different questions and I had to trim them. And it takes time doing the thumbnails and all that, and then trimming them and putting all the tags and all that. So it was all day work there, plus other stuff that I had to attend to during the day, and then I got to the videos, and I think it was like 5 hours of just on that. And I got to the gym about 11 o'clock at night. And by the time I came back, it was like 1:30, and lo and behold, after that workout, you have enough energy not to want to sleep, and you don't know, and you don't even try to sleep. You're just doing things. So anyhow, it's working out fine. I'm putting all the efforts that possibly I could in helping the channel to be visible, to become more visible, and I really appreciate everyone's help who've been kind enough to share the videos on their social media and put us on the map. And please do not forget to like the videos that you watch, like the videos and that you watch, and make a comment. If you have some comments, please do leave it there. These all helps with the algorithm. And right now, please click on like, everybody who's here and wants to see us grow. Don't forget to do that if you will. And at the same time, what was it that I was going to ask you guys? And I put up one of the trimming parts of the video, of the live talk that I did yesterday, was about something that I was talking about. Somebody was saying that the videos, the channel has helped him a lot through his dark times. And so I just asked the question that if this channel has been helpful, and if you could kindly share the videos in your social media. And I put that trimmer also with a thumbnail saying, has this channel been helpful to you? And I find it very important and necessary for everyone to get a chance to just, it might be 2 or 3 minutes of a video, take a look at it and do make a comment. Like if it has been helpful to you, if this channel is what you expect it to be, it's been, you know, positive in your life and so on. Some kind of a comment in response to that video that I put there yesterday. It's just on now, it's public. And that would also, I think, help me to know how the channel has been effective in your lives. While I already know I've had thousands and thousands of comments non-stop and emails every day that tells me how the channel has been helpful. But as a kind of a poll, it would be helpful if we could have this answered or responded to or commented, so at least it will also show as lots of likes and lots of comments, and possibly also helps others to refer to it, and maybe helps them to join the subscribers community that we have here. And at the same time, it gives me a good feel by reading what you write, and to see that, you know, we are hitting the target, what we have intended to achieve here. So I would certainly appreciate it. And don't forget to share the videos. And don't forget, if you have anyone, any contact of yours in influential places, such as I don't know, TV station or radio station or some newspaper, whatnot, do take a look at our channel and what we have done, what the comments are. Maybe they want to put a little 2-minute thingy about it, and that will help us tremendously, of course. So I'll leave it up to you guys, and let's now see what we have here. We have, Aso says, Tiffany says, Mehran, I will spare you a long question. Okay, so no books today, Tiffany. Well, good. That means that the response yesterday was sufficient. I take that the channel has been helpful to you. So don't forget, guys, please do go on that video link, which actually I'm going to put it up here so you guys will all know. Just give me 1 second. Just making sure that you guys will not have problem finding it. There it is. No, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Has helped me. There's the link. So I'm going to put it right down here. So please do go on this when you get a chance later, and do make a comment, like the video there, and make a comment, and it'll also help me out to read it and see what you think about the channel, even though you might as well, you might already have told me, but just helps to have that for our presence on YouTube. Now, getting back to where we have a question here. If I miss any one of your questions, Please do bring it up. I'll look for it. So here we have, Aso says, I have a question. I always get disappointed real fast, especially on my university matters, from 100 to 0 real quick. How can I be more calm instead and accept what's happening? Well, you know, we are like rivers. Each one of us have a certain energy that is extended from us, as we discussed before. Universal energy travels from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe in all directions, up, down, left and right, front and back, and all in between. And through its travel and journey to the other sides of the universe, all these energy lines pass through us, which they all join while passing through us at a one small point below the navel, which we call it the center of gravity of the mass of the body, and at the same time where the mind and body both should be focused, where the meditation that I've explained in my book, Me, My Psyche and I, is explained in there, what that point is and how to focus on it and what kind of powers we can manifest by doing that, which brings mind and body coordinated. And of course, you have seen the exercise that I did in one of the seminars I had at the local university. Shows that this bigger man is trying to lift me up, and when I do the focus on both mind and body on that small point that I just described, then the person cannot lift me up, which is against the law of physics. But it's a way to show how power of mind is way beyond what we think, and we are much more than a physical entity and physical power that we have. So once that point is all the energy lines passing through us meet in that one point, it creates and helps us to understand and become unified with the energy of the universe. Now, so we all have that extended from us after all those powers joining at that one point. So we all have this energy flowing through us, yeah, all of us. So that's why I refer to us as rivers. Every one of us is a river. And guess what happens when two rivers get to go head to head, happens to be on each other's path? There's a current on this river and the current on this river. So which one is going to be winning here? The one that has more current, more powerful river, will overcome this to actually go its way. So that's the kind of energy that I'm talking about. People have energy that is extended from them based on how they have promoted and understood to become one with that energy of the universe, which is, it's not theirs, it's universal energy, but they be able to direct it and use it and promote it and expand it by meditation, by understanding how to become one with the nature, and learning the mind and body coordination and promotion of that energy. So when you have a certain energy, just like a river, that is flowing outwardly from you, just like a liver, not liver, river, just like a river. So when you meet somebody else who also has energy flow, just like another river, flowing towards you, and your energy is flowing outwardly, his or her energy is flowing outwardly, and when you guys meet, when you have lots of energy flow from you, you are the bigger river. So when they insult you or have negative feelings or negative energy extended towards you, your stronger energy overcomes their flow. That's why you will not be affected. We have different ways of visualizing that we were taught in martial arts, how to create this powerful flow of energy like a triangle focusing in front of you. As the energy passes through you, you just shape it in that way, imagine it in that way. So any other energy that is negative comes towards you, it has to pass by the sides of this triangle. So it will not affect you. In other words, it's another way of saying the stronger flow of energy will not allow the negative flow of the other people's energy to affect you. Whether, however else we want to explain it, that's different. But in here, I want you to understand the concept. So the same thing when you interact with some university exam or some kind of a event or some expectation. These are all a negative energy that is created, but in this case created by your own mind. Your expectations, your fear from the results. And that fear causes you the anxiety and your mood changes. Which means if you encourage the flow, stronger flow of your river, you being the river, stronger flow of this energy, this flow, by meditating, by spending time with nature, and bringing that flow of energy, expanding it and energizing yourself with it, then these negative thoughts, which would be like any other negative thoughts coming from somebody else, but now it's coming from internally from you, will also be pushed out. Along with that current and energy they've created, along with the river flow, it will be pushed out, extended outwardly, and it won't allow it to affect you. And you'll be more hopeful. Why? Because you feel you have a lot more, tremendous amount of energy, that this little negative thought, it just will be a thought and it'll be lost and overflown by the positive powers, positive beliefs, hopes that you have, confident that you have, that you can do this. If you didn't even do it this time, you will do it again and you will prevail. You will be successful. All these hopeful and strong positive thought and energy will help you to overcome that what you just explained here. Along this explanation of a small question, but hey, that's what you get. Hope that was something for you to understand a little bit. I know a little bit heavy in some metaphors or different way of explaining it about the key and the flow and all that, but if you think of it, that will be helpful. Ah, David, so you were there for a bit and then you had to leave. So this says, Assos speaks Arabic. It says, I don't know what it means. I can read the alphabet, but I don't know what it means. It means Mehran Tatakalam Arabi Ant. I don't know what I just said. I hope it wasn't something bad. And then it continues, says, Vau Makante Edri Fajenti. Something like that. I hadn't read the Arabic alphabet, Farsi alphabet. The alphabets are the same. It's like French and German and English and Spanish and Italian. The alphabets are the same, but the language is totally different. so I could read the alphabet. So I don't know what I said. Aso, better translate it. Lottie, hello to you. Good to see you. One thing that is so good, Lottie says, about the live talks is that when you answer a very similar question, but to try and make the words help individual person, the answer has a dual consciousness. You lost me here, but I think it's a positive response. Ashwin, hello dear. Ashwin is tuning in from India. Good to see you. Christian Mulbauer from Heidelberg, Germany is on board again. Thank you for being here, Christian. Zahin says, I was there for a girl in her toughest time. I supported her a lot by mentally and financially. Later on, she became my girlfriend. Then she established and left me when I was broke and I'm unemployed. How would you explain this type of manner? Well, Zahin, you know that there is no explanation for this kind of manner, because these are ill-mannered people who try to use a branch to hold on to and get out of the hole that they have dug in themselves dug themselves in, and once they're out, they have no respect for that tree, because one motivation for them to not have respect for that tree and leave that tree as far as they can, like this girl did with you, is because some people try to hide their background, their misfortunes, and they want to have a pretense of that I am who I am today and always been like this, pretty, successful, wealthy, educated, and I was never stupid, or I was never hungry, and I was always capable of taking care of myself. And these are what they want to pretend, even though their background was different. And the person who actually knew them when they were in trouble, when they were crying, when they were weak, when they were hungry, when they were cold, when they needed shelter, when they needed protection, the person who helped them with all these things is the person who knows their secret. And they want to pretend they're more than what they have always been, or they have been in the past. So what's the best way to do? Is to get as far as possible from the person that knows all these things about them. So they will be able to look at themselves when they look at you. When she looks at you, she wanted to look at herself like, no, I never needed you, because I am here, I'm this, and I don't want you to think that I was that. I am this. You got to look at me as this. And she knows that's not possible, and not that you made any fuss about it, but she thinks by going away from you, she can change herself and her past to something, instead of being proud of it, from where she got to be where. She wants to hide that, making it look like that she was never weak and she was always this successful. And so everybody would look at her as who she is now, and not ever having to look at something that would remind her of who she was and how she was living, which in this case is you. Well, of course, that means lack of class, lack of appreciation for the one who helped her. You know, it's like, it's funny that when wonderful things is being done to children by their parents, helping them, feeding them, taking care of them, raising them, being there in the times of problems of any kind for the children. The children don't leave the parents, and they know the parent knows everything about them. The children don't leave their siblings unless they have a problem that starts, or however it starts. But on normal circumstances, they don't leave that. It's like saying, you know, go and leave everybody that you ever knew, even the school you went to, just so that you will be hiding your past identity or how you were. It's silly. It's like saying, I want everybody to think that I was always university educated. Well, I was a kid. When I was a kid, I couldn't be university educated. There was steps that I had to take, you know, high school and so on and so forth, and then university. So trying to escape from this is a silly thing. So this is not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on her. And you should be happy that you got to know this, how she really is. Because if there is no loyalty, what's important? What's there to be in a relationship with? And she just showed you that she's not loyal. She's not loyal to kindness. She's not loyal to what you did for her. She's not loyal to her own self journey, to use it as a fuel to get in higher and higher and better places. And she's not she's not someone to be relied on. So in fact, you should be really happy that it stopped your investment of energy and time on her by this action of hers. But this is not a reflection on you. You're still the same wonderful person who helped someone, and that's kudos to you. So no worries, Zahin. That is her problems. Aso says, You're so cute reading Arabic. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Thank you. Aso says, I was saying, wow, I didn't know you read Arabic. I'm surprised. Okay. Robert says, a question about consultations. How does the offer work that an hour will be matched with another hour? I'd like to understand about recharging through the conflux and energy practices. Well, I tried to be more accommodating and make it more affordable for people who couldn't afford it. So my offer was, if you can't, if you need more time than 1 hour and you can't afford it, so I make it easy for you that if you make a consultation booking for 1 hour, I'm going to give you at least half an hour to an hour more than what you paid for. If you take 15 minutes, I give you half an hour. If you take a half an hour booking, when we are talking, I increase that. I let the duration of the appointment to go on to double than what you paid. And that's only up to 1 hour. Like if you purchase a package, consultation package of 15 hours, that's already discounted heavily. So I wouldn't be giving you 30 hours. It's all up to 1 hour. So if you get a 1 hour booking, I will give you from half an hour to another hour on top of it, because I don't like to cut the discussion when the time is up. And most of you who have had a chance to have a booking with me and discussed on Skype one-on-one certain matters of your concern, you know that often it has happened that 1 hour turned into 2 hours and there was no extra charge because the conversation was, needed to, I needed to take care of your issue, and I don't run by minutes. It's not the way it is with me. So I just wanted to make it a little official for a certain limited time. I don't know how long that time will be, but usually it will be more than what your booking would be. But for at least the next few months, anybody who books 15 minutes gets in half an hour booking gets an hour, and an hour booking gets 2 hours max. But that would be it. Anything over that is going to have its own regular price, because it's already, anything over 1 hour is already discounted heavily, and put that in the package. So I hope that explains, Robert, your question. Aso says, Mehran, are we all fucked up? Oh, in the head somehow or another? Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. That's why we're trying to reduce the effects of that as much as possible, and be able to enjoy life without being subjected to all these things that we are influenced negatively by. Ashwin says, I have to work with co-worker who is sleeping with my ex. Ouch. Ashwin, your picture is very small, and I'm not quite familiar with the names that your background, your culture has. So I'm not sure if you're a man or woman. As always, I ask, please kindly, when you ask a question, let me know where you're tuning in from, let me know how old you are, and let me know if you're a man or a woman. And that'll help me to be able to address it properly, and at least know which angles I could deliver it more efficiently. So that's why right now I don't understand if you're you're a man and your co-worker is a man, and then your ex would be, I assume it's a woman, or are you a woman and your co-worker is a woman and your ex is a man? So it would help me if you could explain that a little bit. And I read the rest of it, not knowing still if Ashwin is a man's name or a woman's name, and your picture doesn't let me know. So I go on trying to figure it out. I have to work with a co-worker who's sleeping with my ex, which was also one of the reasons for our breakup. It's difficult to see her. Now I know. Okay. It's difficult to see her and him almost every day. How do I deal with this? Yeah, that's shits actually. You have to rise above it and see which one is more important to you. Your ego, the relationship that has gone sour, and obviously you know that she doesn't deserve to be with you because she's gone with somebody else while she was with you. So why would you ever want to consider desiring her again? Because obviously there is no loyalty there, and there was no reciprocation of your kindness or your idea of relationship with her. You should decide if that is more important to you or your job. And you should also consider that this, what you feel right now about her or them, it will go away, and you will not even want her or care about this as you do now in a few months or a year or whenever, especially when you meet somebody else. So jeopardizing your job for something versus something that you would actually forget about eventually, it tells you that you should put full focus on your job and not give a damn about what she's doing and your co-worker is with her and stuff like that. Basically rise above it and see her for what she is. And look, she's another human being, and they deserve each other. Obviously she doesn't deserve you, because that kind of a behavior is simply not something that you would find it classy to be with you, and having gone with somebody else and then broke up with you and is now with that other guy. Just don't give it any numbers. Don't think it's important. Don't think of it as anything to do with your character or worth or personality. Now that she is with somebody else, so that means that somebody else is better than you. No, nonsense. Who says that what she chooses makes somebody better than somebody else and makes somebody else worse or not as good as the one that she's with now? Who is she to have this meter, this popularity or worthwhile evaluating meter? It's in your mind. Who is she? Just because, what happens if you go to a store and you see a cucumber or you see a peach, and just because it was you couldn't get one and somebody else was able to get it, does that mean just because the peach is now in the basket of that other person, then that other person is being preferred by the peach, and that other person is better than you because he or she got the peach or the cucumber and then you didn't? No. It has nothing to do with your value. It just happens to mean that the peach and that person happen to be there together now, or the cucumber and that person happen to be there together. But whoever the cucumber or the peach chooses does not mean that your value has been diminished because you don't have that peach or that cucumber. It means nothing. It just means that you just don't have that which was on the fruit stand. And you can go and find another peach and another cucumber just 2 steps away in a different bushel. What does that mean? Anything? Where did that peach was chosen to be the best peach of all, and whoever has it is got more value than somebody else who doesn't have it? Who said that? It's you. It's your own mind who thinks that way, because I wanted peach. I was hungry for a peach and I couldn't have it, so that means now I'm not good enough. How do you come up with that? Your desire for something does not mean that if you can't get it, you're devaluated. It just means that you got to go and fulfill your desire in another store. That's all. Because lo and behold, there is law more than one peach around. Yeah. So you can't say because I didn't get the peach, therefore I'm not as valuable because I don't deserve a peach. No, you do. This peach wasn't good enough for you, so you go another store and find another peach. So that's pretty much incognito my answer. Now let's see. All right. Hope as so suggests, everyone has had a chance to like the stream. And Lottie says, what maybe is a worry for me is when someone who does very unkind stuff, and maybe I should say something, but I'm not very strong to do that. How could I make myself stronger to be able to help? So again, Lottie, I forgot how old you are, where you're tuning in, and I think you are a lady. Am I right? I'm not sure because I don't remember, guys. Help me out. So you say that you are not good in responding to people who are not kind or do something negative towards you in their interaction, and you would like to be able to respond to them, and how can you make yourself stronger to be able to help? Well, if you don't need to make yourself stronger, you just need to make yourself understood that you are on par with other people. They don't have anything more than you. And somehow you have allowed this mentality to come into your consciousness that they are superior to you and you are inferior to them, or they have something better than you, or they're more equipped, or they're wiser or smarter or richer, and for any reason you have thought of yourself less than them. I want you to recognize that they have nothing more than you. They get up in the morning, they gotta go wash their face and do their business in the bathroom and wash their teeth, and they need breakfast, they eat something, they need to put their clothes on, they have same things and same needs that you have. So what makes them any better? The economic rules and the way that you've been conditioned to evaluate yourself against others and evaluate people based on what they have and what they don't have, rather than what their humanity and mentality and the way they treat you and speak to you or interact with you should be the way to evaluate them. Yeah. Don't be fooled by I don't know, clothes they're wearing or how they look or how their posture is. They're still the same shit as anybody else. Have the same needs, same fears, same concerns, and same hopes and aspirations if they are normal human beings. And if they're not haven't learned to treat others in positive manner, respectfully, kindly, there's something wrong with them. That itself, by itself, should tell you that they are not even they're not superior, they're actually inferior in their thoughts, because they're rude, or they're not fair, or they're not just, or they're not behaving properly and respectfully and kindly toward others, including yourself. So that shows you people of that kind of behavior are actually lower in value of humanity. When they affect others negatively, they are not at par with you. In fact, that makes you far more qualified to be considered and called a human being than they are. So on that note, you can always be better in your mind considering their behavior and action and reaction with you and interaction with you. So then what's there for you to stop you from responding to them? Hey, that is not correct, that is not kind, and your behavior is not acceptable. When you have this feeling of you being in a higher moral ground and higher value because of the way you intend to affect the other members of society in a positive way, that tells you that you're a better human being, a more qualified human being than they are. And that by itself should put you in a higher position in your mind and very easily able to discuss or make comment on their behavior and put them in the right places, gently, if you need to. So you got to change your own attitude by looking at yourself, that how are you judging yourself and making them to be any better than you when they're not. The mere fact that they don't behave with you fairly, that puts them in a position to show you that they are inferior in mentality and manners and mind, which that should give you the higher power for you to stand your ground, stand for yourself, and make the comments that you think you need to make. Tango says, 1 week past breakup of a 6 months relationship. I am 48 and he is 49. Both a healthy place. I am so heartbroken over this loss. How can I expect to forgive my brain to forgive? How can I expect to grieve? My brain needs a rest for this. Tango, I'm a little bit confused again. Remember where you're tuning in from, how old you are, I know, and if you're a man and woman, you know, that is, I'm missing that. But beside that, I'm not quite sure what the question is trying to tell me. 1 week past breakup of 6 months. Okay, it was a 6 month relationship, and 1 week ago you broke up, and you are 48, and so I assume you're a woman, and he is 49. Both a healthy place. Okay, I'm so heartbroken over this loss. Why? Because I don't know what happened, so I don't know. How long can I expect to grieve? I see. You will grieve as long as you're constantly refreshing the desire for that broken up relationship, and you're not looking at the relationship as what it developed to be. Instead, you're constantly focusing on the parts that were lovey-dovey, and they were palatable, and they were fun, and there were good parts, and you're not bringing the complete file, a pictorial file and emotional files of the relationship. You're only selecting, cherry picking of the good memories, and then the good memories bring with them the other memory files that needs to be born before desire takes place. And so then when you think of the relationship and the good parts, all those other files, emotional files, comes with all those memories, which creates and refreshes the desire for that relationship, for that person, because all the memory files that contains all the steps necessary for desire to be born will come along with your memory thinking of the relationship, the selected good part of the relationship, and therefore you feel like you actually desire that relationship. That's going to make the relationship, the breakup, take longer to forget, because you're constantly refreshing it by not bringing the total picture and emotional files and total file of this relationship when you think of the relationship. When you think of a relationship and good selected parts of the memory of the relationship comes to you, and the emotional files that creates the desire comes along with it, you should also bring the files that are not going to come up voluntarily by default. They are still going to remain in the memory and not show up, because by default we only pick up the good memories and we remember the good stuff about a relationship. And if you want to have the total picture of it, you got to call up and remember the stuff that went wrong, the stuff that caused the breakup, the stuff that were not good, the stuff that were not comfortable, the problems, the issues, and then you will have a complete picture of it, and you will know that this is how it had to go because of all these other details that are there. Then you're convinced every time you think of it that there was something missing, something wrong, and that's why it didn't work out. And that will help you not to allow the desire to be refreshed and to reborn, because there are reasons for this not to take place when you think of the whole picture of the relationship. And that could help you to alleviate this a little bit sooner. There is a video that I have that is called It's Taking Longer Than I Thought to Recover from a Breakup. It's taking longer than I thought to recover from a breakup. You watch that video, that could help you. Maybe I should have just said that instead of explaining all this. So Ashwin, male, 22 years. Okay, got it. Thank you. Tango Tango, female, 48. Okay, good, thank you. I assumed that. Asso is sending love to everybody, and that's nice. Bruno, hello from Brazil, he says. A month after my breakup, I found an incredible person that said to like me and that wants to be in a relationship with me. And then after another month, seen each, of course, each other and having a great time together, this person just disappeared, saying that was busy, I'm devastated, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you, you know, it just happens. You know, it's like saying I went to this store and looked for a suit, and I wore a bunch of suits of the store, and every one of them had a problem, and it didn't fit me. I went to another store and I tried some other ones. I didn't like the design. The design didn't fit me. They didn't have my size. The style didn't fit me. So then you say, what's wrong with me? There's not wrong with you. They just didn't have your size. They didn't have the design that would suit you, fit you. So it simply means keep going to other stores. Why would you think there's something wrong with you? There was something wrong with the suits, the designs, the tailorings, and all these things, the sizes. That's what the story is. So you can't expect just because you go to a store and you don't find your size of whatever it is that you're looking for, there's something wrong with you. Well, it's a lack of enough inventory on that store for what you're looking for. Lack of understanding your specifications for the suit or the product that you're looking for. Why do you quickly come to a conclusion that there's something wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with you. So you can say, well, what's wrong with them? Whatever product it is, whatever it is that you're looking for, or in this sort of in relationships that you're discussing, you know, just because you know, it's like something that I had a meeting a long while ago on these subjects, and I actually discussed this. It was interesting, and it was, I think I had a screw and a bolt on the table, and I asked everybody, try to put the screw and the table together, and then this was the screw, let's say, and I don't have a bolt. This was the bolt, and this was there was the screw, and so everybody tried to do it, and it wasn't fitting. So I said, "What's wrong with the screw?" And they said they don't fit. So there was one bolt on the table, and there were a bunch of screws. And I said, "So what's wrong with the bolt? Or what's wrong with the screw?" Somebody would say, "Well, the screw doesn't fit." Someone would say the nut doesn't fit. Bolt and nuts. And the idea was there was nothing wrong with either one of them. Because if this nut would find the right bolt, they would fit. Just because they don't fit doesn't mean there's something wrong with this or something wrong with this. It just means they don't fit. But they do fit with something else that it's actually designed for it to fit. I don't have it here, but you get the idea. So it's not something wrong with the bolt or with the nut. It's basically means they just don't fit. That's all. But they each will fit the right, you know, whatever that is the right size to fit. So just because two things don't match up doesn't mean there's something wrong with one of them. Just means they just don't match up. That's all. So go on and continue your search, and you will eventually be successful to find a suitable relationship. Now, we have Aso says, Mehran, what do you think of Kim Kardashian? I don't know her. I probably have never seen her. Maybe in some I think there was an episode in one of the television series called Last Man Standing with Tim Allen, and in one of the episodes, I think one of the daughters met somebody in a book signing place, and then this name came up. So I think that was her, but that's my extent of knowledge about this name. So El Haj says, hello sir, I'm from Minnesota. What do you think about weed? Is it okay to smoke it? I don't know. I don't know. I just think that there's so many scientific research done on that plant that supposedly has beneficial responses to certain illnesses, or for certain pain relief, or certain medical research or benefits. And I remember when I was in university, pretty much everybody around me in parties, they were smoking this stuff. Well, I just simply, whether I was never interested. I always stick my head out of the window in the parties so I wouldn't have to be subjected to the smell of it, because I don't know, if I simply didn't like it, and at the same time I just didn't believe in putting some kind of a smoke into my lungs, because I always saw that lungs should be free and clear from smoke of any kind and should have only oxygen go in it. So I was very much into sports and health conscious and wanted to be all alert, and my upbringing was that any substance that would alter your state of soberness and alertness should be avoided, and that's how I was raised. And nowadays I hear there's lots of talk about its beneficial, medical beneficial effects that it could have on some stuff. So that I leave that to science and the people who know about it. I don't know anything about it really. So I guess you got to do your research, Al-Haj, and figure out if something that you should or should not be doing. Teresa, my goodness, where do you guys find these names? Teresa. Teresa. Or is it Teresa, and you just turned it into tree and SAW to be funny? I don't know. Maybe your name is Teresa. Or maybe it's just a funny screen name. Anyway, hello to you. Cleo says, hello dear. David says, one thing I like to do is watch your short videos on X2 speed mode. Or ×2 speed mode. Really? What happens? That way YouTube will see that the entire video is played. And then I hit the like button. The videos are still easy to understand. Ah, really? Okay, it takes shorter to watch it, you mean? It's up to you. Maybe this is a good way to help the algorithm. I don't know, because whether you watch it in X or XX, if you watch it to the end, it would still count as one view, right? So there's no, I don't know, I don't think there's any benefit to it, but hey, if it takes a shorter time from you, fine, but I think it might lose a little bit of energy and rhythm of the way that it was spoken when you speed it up, and you'll be like a little bit rushed, would create a little rushed energy when so anyhow, you decide on that. Ashwin says, how do you cut someone out of your life completely or not let their presence bother you anymore? I have difficulty living in my past and I do want to move on, for I know how toxic the relationship was. Well, you don't have to cut anybody out. When you focus on the now, on your life, on things that you should be paying attention to and spending your time to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish, naturally your focus and attention would be on this now, on this project, on your life, on what you need to accomplish. And naturally, when you're focusing this way, you will not be seeing the painting on the wall on the other direction, which means when you're focusing on the now, on your life, and full-heartedly paying attention to that, what it is that you're supposed to attend to, naturally the other stuff will be out of your life and out of your field of the vision, and also out of your virtual reality goggle that you have put on your face, meaning your consciousness. So they will be out of your focus will be away from that fragment of your consciousness which exists in your memory, and you will not be focusing on it, you'll be focusing on other things. Now, the fact that you think about these sort of things is just means that you're not with the now. Because if you're with the now, you will not be in the memory. Where you won't be, when you won't be in the memory, naturally you wouldn't be thinking about the stuff that is in the memory, one of which would be this relationship or this person, whatever it is that, you know, your ex-girlfriend. So the idea and the key is to be with the now, be with the present moment, be with paying fully attention to what it is that you're doing every day and you should be doing every minute, which helps you to enjoy exactly what you're doing fully because you're paying full attention to it. And at the same time, it takes you out of the consciousness where the memory exists and resides, and you'll be free from living in the memory, which turns what you call living to death of the past. Because when you're in the memory, memory is the past, and memory doesn't exist, the past doesn't exist, the stuff in it is in the form of pictorial and video, and the recording is just recording, is not real, it's dead, it's non-existence. So when you're in the memory and roaming around that stuff and you trying to function your day, really your living, as you call it, is really in the death of the past, because that's where you are. You're in the memory and you miss the actuality of life, and then you wonder why I keep thinking about it, because you're there. If you don't want to be looking at that program, then get out of that room where the TV is on. Come to this room. Pay attention to the room that you're in. But when you're in your memory, naturally, the stuff that you don't want to be paying attention to and be bothered with is there. So get out of that room. Get out of the memory. which means focus on the now. When you have a choice to leave the room that the TV's on and you don't want to watch that program, you leave the room. And the same thing you got to do with when you're in the memory. You got to leave the memory. How do you leave the memory? By focusing on the now, by paying full attention on the present moment of your interaction with life as it's happening, which makes you be here now. And when you're here with now, you're not there in the past, in the memory. And when you're not there, which is like the same as you're not in the other room, you won't see that television program that is on. So you're not in the memory, you won't see that stuff that bothers you and you don't want to see. So focus on the now. Focus on your life. Focus on the day. Focus on the things you want to accomplish and the things that you have planned fully. And that naturally cuts everything out of your field of vision and out of your mind. So let's go with Robert says, for questions, friends, please include gender, age. Oh yes, thank you, Robert. For question, everybody, please do include where you're tuning in from, what age you are, and your gender, so I would be able to properly address from the angles that would help more to deliver the point. Excalibur, my goodness, were you sleeping? Hello, Mehran, he says, just came home, hope you're doing well. Thank you, good of you to join us. We missed you, and now that you're here, that is good. Excalibur says, so my first question is, I have no motivation to study anymore, and I don't know if I should keep going. Well, did you have motivation to study before you now say you don't have motivation to study? I assume the answer is yes. So just as you had the motivation before, and it has now changed to how you feel as you expressed it right now, that you don't have motivation, but you did have motivation, it changed to I don't have motivation, then what is to say that you will also change back to I do have motivation? But instead of waiting for that to benefit from the fact that you do have motivation again, if you stop this flow of education, flow of pursuing what you want to accomplish in your education, you will lose that opportunity when it comes and when it's changed to I have motivation to study again. But you didn't wait for it. You just cut it off and you took that chance away from yourself. So the fact that you don't have motivation now doesn't mean that that's how it's going to be tomorrow or next month or next week. Sometimes we don't want to do what we want to do, what we are supposed to do. We don't feel like it. But if we don't do it later on, when we say, oh, I wish I had done that because I can see how an important part of the foundation that what I want to build, it would have played in, but that time is too late. You missed that chance. So keep your head steady, put the blinds on like a smart horse. You know why the horses, they put blinds on them when they're race horses or the horses, because they're pretty smart, capable horses, and their attention can figure out things because they're smart and they're curious and they want to figure out things. So their attention will be going to different places, which would lose the attention of what they're supposed to be focusing on, which is the race that they're running. And therefore they will be distracted, and they're fast runners, but because they will be distracted, they would not be focusing on the lane that they're running. They would slow down and they would not pay attention. They would not finish the race first or ever, because they're just going here, going there, and they're interested in this, interested in that, see what that is, I can understand that, I can learn that. So dissipating, I mean, just and they're not focusing, they're actually letting their attention to go to so many places. But they put these blinds on them, so they will be just seeing what they're supposed to be accomplishing, and they will go full force, and when they finish, they get this off and they can now pay attention to others. The same thing you got to do now. I have no motivation for study is bullshit. because you know damn well that that study could be a difference between you having a job or an opportunity to make a business for yourself of some kind, because you have created that initial knowledge, general knowledge that is needed for you to have this carte blanche or ticket to play the game, to have the doors open for you, which the education itself might not, unless it's very focused on a certain sciences or certain subject. The education itself may not actually mean much, but the process of going through education, the fact that you've gone through the college or university and have gone through this process, you've learned how to learn. That's what university does. It may not give you what you need to make money with it, but what it does, it helps you to know that you can do things and you can learn things, and the process of learning, what efforts you got to put in it, how difficult, how shitty some subjects are that you can't even focus on them because you don't like them and you don't see their benefits or their uses, but you put yourself into discipline of doing it, forcing yourself to do certain things. It just gives you that training of, I can do things, because there are many things in life that we may just decide, I don't want to do it. But that I don't want to do it, someday later we say, oh, I wish I had done it because that really could be helpful. So it's the know-how. So it doesn't matter if you have motivation for education or not, have motivation to train yourself that you can do things, you can accomplish things, you can figure things out, you can endure things. And that's really what university is partly all about. So it's not, you're not there just for the education of it, you're there just to go through this whole bullshit of it, to make yourself understand that you can deal with things, how bullshit they could be. But there are some courses that you could actually like too. So the combination of it is really representing what this world is all about. It's plus and minus, duality. It's a relative world. So there are good things and bad things, things you like and things you don't like. And the courses that you like, you'll do good, and courses that you don't like, you don't do good, and that's okay. But go through it, because later on you need that nonsense card to have doors open for you. You can have an opportunity for a job or something that you want to start, your career or something that you want to accomplish. This experience could be helpful. So don't make a judgment on it. Just keep going and put yourself through, put the blinds on and do that thing and finish it. When you did finish it, then you say, okay, I don't want to go any further because it's enough for me to know what to do now. I've got general knowledge and I've got this card that I can use to open doors. Yeah, I've got this certificate, bullshit thingy, whatever it is. Unless you're really focusing on chemistry or physics or things that you really need to get that, all that education focused on that in order to use it for your career later on in that field. So don't give up. You don't need motivation really. You just need understanding of why you should do that, why you need to do that, how it would be helpful, what departments will be helpful, what parts of this experience would be helpful. And that experience is what you need in order to know a little bit more about yourself and have experienced that, and then you'll be able to maybe deal with things a little bit differently. It's an experience, so time will pass, go through it, get it over with, and then go on and see what things, and you will never look back and say, oh, I should have done it or whatever. Tango says, thanks so much, you're welcome. And Excalibur, what happened? It jumped. Says, and my second question is about Zahin's question. What the fuck is wrong with parents, male or female, who leave the person who helped them in their toughest time once they are fine again? I didn't get it. Oh, partners, not parents. What the fuck is wrong with partners, male or female, who leave the person who helped them in their toughest times once they're fine again? Well, just as I explained to you, it's their shortcomings, not yours. And I explained a while ago in one of the live talks that I met this flight attendant on one of my trips from Germany to Vancouver, and she was discussing the same thing with me, that she had helped her boyfriend who had problems with stuttering and wasn't sure of himself, and she paid all the therapy for that, and he overcame that stuttering problem challenge, and he was more sure and confident of himself. And when he arrived to that state, he left her, the very person that paid all the bills and helped him and encouraged him, and so on and so forth. So that's not taking anything away from that stewardess flight attendant friend of mine that I'm referring to. It just takes away from that idiot who did not appreciate what she had done for him, and simply moved on in order to hide the favor and the kindness that she had done for him, and so to present himself as he had never had that problem, and pretend, instead of being proud of himself and that he overcame that problem, he wanted to hide it and just show her that I'm better than you. You know about my problems, and so I just want to be somewhere that people don't know about my problem, and they look at me like if I was always like this. If there is any honor that there was never a problem in someone's life, and they should hide it instead of being proud of the fact that they had a challenge and they overcame it. And that's what makes men strong. That's what makes people strong. That's what makes human beings strong, by learning and going through the challenges that they have and dealing with it and coming out with it. Instead of being proud of it, some idiots try to leave the people who helped them to make it look like as if they never needed them. It's their shortcoming and not yours or the person who helped them. So, Rahim says, I was in a relationship and we really wanted to marry. However, with the culture we're from, our parents didn't accept us. Now, she didn't want to go against her parents, so she broke up with me. It sucks. Yeah, I've heard. I'm not sure, Rahim, if I'm right or wrong. You might be from India. I don't know if that also exists, that caste problem or challenge in Pakistan. I don't know if you're from Pakistan or India, but I have heard that this is a big issue and it's something that is followed in India. So that's why I said I think you might be from that neck of the wood. And I think that's pretty interesting subject about the caste business, which deprives many people, younger people who find themselves compatible to each other, have to let go and listen to their parents and go and break up that relationship and go with the husband or the wife that the parents have chosen for them, because simply not because their boyfriend or girlfriend was anything wrong with them, but just because they were not coming from the same family background or economic background or chain of background that this parent or that parent is from. Usually they supposedly, I hate this word, but higher caste level, people who think that they are a little bit higher than this other one because of whatever economic reasons or backgrounds, or I don't know how the chain works, family history, they seem to not accept the one that is coming from a different caste. I think that's just depriving two people who have found themselves compatible from a real chance to make a good life for themselves, and instead pleases parents who are playing this game to prove to themselves that they are worthy, because now they have their daughter marrying someone who comes from a family who is actually more wealthier or economically better than they are, or in a line of history their ancestors lead to some close proximity of each other, which is really all living in the past. Who says that people cannot, who come from a different caste from you, different family background from you, cannot be as happy and successful and fine human beings with fine credentials of kindness and compassion for their family and their wife, just because they're coming from a different family. Who says that? What kind of a bullshit is that? That parents think that if they choose a husband or a wife for their son or for their daughter from a similar family background, that guarantees that that husband will take good care of their daughter, or that wife that they choose would be a good wife for their son, which could have nothing to do with anything. It has to do with the quality, the inner quality of the consciousness of these people, how they have actually been conditioned, how they have actually interacting with the world, with the society, with their feelings, with their responsibilities, with their sense of duty and honor and love and compassion and sense of duty and reasonability and ability to interact and be flexible in a family situation for their spouses. It's all has to do with that individual. Why is it that parents take butt in such a big way, and they create this kind of a hardship for these young people who have investigated each other and found out that they actually are more compatible than somebody else that is being chosen by somebody else? I mean, how could it really be understood that it is foolproof if a parents choose a husband for their daughter, or parents choose a wife for their son, instead of the daughter finding a husband for herself, or the son finding a wife for himself, based on the mutual understanding and the common things that they find in each other's behavior and interest and bond on consciousness level, and so on and so forth. To some degree, this could be helpful if they come from similar backgrounds. But even the people who come from similar backgrounds, there is no guarantee that they will actually make it work. And they're all kind of people around the world with all kinds of backgrounds, whether they come from the same caste or not. They go through problems and challenges, same problems and same challenges, and they get divorced, and they get in fights, and they get in. So it's really no guarantee that just because it is even chosen from the same caste, there would be no same problems that it would be if they were not chosen from the same caste. They're still human beings with the same conditionings and fears and dogmas and limitations and concerns and needs and aspirations and hopes and fears of all kinds. And so you can't change the actual reasoning for how they are by simply saying, oh, this comes from this corner of the town and this comes from this kind of a background, therefore it's beyond him or her to have these human problems that all humans have to deal with in their consciousness. They just and won't. Well, it's just fooling yourself. The problems still would be problems. So it's best to find which two people have the most compatibility with each other, not what their parents have most compatibility in their travel of casting or where they are in economic or a background stage. It's all about two people wanting to live with each other. They should know each other. They should choose each other. They know themselves better, unless these daughters or these sons are considered to be idiots by their parents, or are not given enough credit by their parents to be able to figure out what is good for them and what they actually need to succeed in life. Perhaps that is part of the education that is missing. What do you need to be successful in your marriage or in your relationship? Maybe that should be focused on, instead of just finding the right caste. The caste cannot guarantee the manners and the characteristics of a human being. So many people come from good castes, but they're just idiots, or just as asshole as somebody else coming from a different caste. It's about human being and humanity and compassion and love and understanding and respect and reasonability and understandability and all these other things that we should rely on to make ourselves to become a better person and interact with our wives or with the spouses or the relationship that we're in, the partners, the way that should be interacted with. So are they going to be responsible if are the parents going to be responsible also take the responsibility if that their choice doesn't work? Or are these going to be a pretense life that even if it doesn't work, for the respect of the parents, they should pretend it works? So it's all pressure and all force of accepting something. So the whole life is about being manipulated by tradition, by customs, by parents, by rules, and not really pay attention to what really can make it work and what really cannot make it work, regardless of what caste it is. It's all about the content of the consciousness and if they actually are bonding on the consciousness level. There are some benefits from having similar backgrounds in some things, but that's just one part. There are many other parts that should be also considered if a relationship wants to be successful. And that's no guarantee by just making it not be considered of all the other things that are necessary for a relationship to work, but only focusing on as long as the caste is the same, then the rest of it doesn't matter. Because that's really what comes down to. If they're really compatible and they hit it off, they like each other, they say none of that matters as if you're not from the same caste. So it means like one quality that is necessary for a relationship to work, such as casting in that culture, is going to override everything else that these two human beings need to be compatible in order to make it work. Does that make sense? Does that? It doesn't. It's only one component. How can one component become more important than all of the components, the entirety of the components necessary for a relationship to work? So this needs to be given a real thought when parents decide to break two people's interaction and connection and compatibility just because they feel the one thing that is going to make it work or not work is that casting, and the rest of the things don't matter. That is not reasonable. That's what I think. But then, who am I to think that? Okay, now, it's obviously lots of things must be at work for a relationship to work, and casting could be helpful, but cannot be the only thing. And if it's treated as the most important ingredients in that recipe of successful relationship, then it's unfortunate. That's unreasonable. All right, now let's go to, my name is Teresa, but I'm trying to maintain a bit of anonymity. Yeah, okay, so I guessed it right then. Teresa. Yeah, because the picture wasn't showing me if it's a girl or a boy, so I just read it that way. Teresa, you play with the word. Like, actually, it's quite clever. Cleo says, Mehran, what is the best way to know you are going in the right direction in life, or how to choose correctly versus dead ends? You can't know. You can't know. The only thing you can know is that you're doing your best with whatever knowledge you have at every moment, paying full attention to what it is that you're attending to, paying full attention to what you're choosing, you're attending to how to choose it, and that's all you can do, to think it through with all the information that you have and do the research that you need to do in order to help yourself to see if you're on a reasonable path or not. And that's all you can do, and the rest of it you just keep doing the best you can in whatever subject it is that you're trying to accomplish. Otherwise, there's no crystal ball to know. But of course, there's one way. If you keep doing the same thing and you don't get the result that you're looking for, it's maybe time to change it. And if you look back and see with what you've done, what you've gotten, and if you keep doing the same what you've done, you'll be keep getting what you've been, getting what you've got. So these are some little things that you can see. Okay, have I been, accomplishing the things I wanted to accomplish, and the results have been according to what I expected? Am I getting the results that I wanted with what I've been doing? If not, then maybe what I've been doing should change. Or if what I'm doing is really seems to be pretty good on the ball, but I'm not getting the results, maybe then I should change the goal that I'm reaching for. Otherwise, there's no really sure way to know what is. Obviously, there are things that is obvious is wrong. And there are things that that is positive and it's on the right track, and it could get you to a destination that you're hoping for. But you got to have these plans and maps, the steps that you need to take in order to achieve this milestone, and then the steps you got to take in order to reach that other point of reference, and so on and so forth until you get to where you're supposed to get. But if you just want to shoot without really targeting and you're really knowing what path you should take in order to get to that, wherever it is that you want to arrive, then you may get lost in the way and be confused and not really sure where you're going and if you're going in the right direction or not. So you got to have some kind of a point of references. Okay, am I still moving toward that direction? What other things I got to do in order to get to the next milestone, next point of reference? But again, it has to do with what it is that you're specifically talking about, like what goal is it, where it is, so you can get help from people who know how to arrive to that destination, or the paths that you should do, the prerequisite that you should consider. All these are known. The good thing is that today there's enough knowledge that you can figure out what are the best ways to get to where you want to go, and if where you want to go is somewhere feasible, attainable, is logical, or is it beneficial or not. These information is available. These research can be done. That's the good thing about today. So it's not like you have to finish the race and go to the destination that you hope for and then find out there's a pile of shit there. Oh, gee. But you could have actually Googled it and see it from Google Earth that, oh, there where I want to go is actually a pile of shit. I don't want to go there. So in other words, you can figure out where you want to go economically, is feasible or not, time-wise, is it going to have enough time, and it's kind of reasonable time that it takes to get there, or too long or whatnot. The benefits of it, is it going to be within the economic goals that you have? Is it going to be within the technological advancements that you expect that in order for you to get where you want to get? Is the future of it, advancement of it, possibilities of it, path of it, is it open? Where is it going to lead? All these things have been, it's available, the information. So on those bases, you can at least do your best to see if what you're doing based on research, it's a viable thing to do, or it's just something that you should stay away from. At least these things are available. Otherwise, you just got to focus on doing your best with whatever it is that you want to accomplish, and make sure what you want to accomplish is helpful to you, positive to the society, and is going to be something you love to do, you like to do, you enjoy it, so your life will be filled with enjoyment while you're doing that thing, rather than I do that just to make the money so I can have something that I want. Well, sometimes you have to do that too, but you will actually get to know what is the balance in all of that. I hope it was something for you to ponder on. Yeah, Cleo, thank you. Canadian 45. Oh, Canadian, another Canadian. It's funny that I'm here in Canada, but most of my subscribers to the channel and participants are actually not Canadian. They're mostly European or from United States. I wonder Where are we? Am I not visible in Canada? I'm here. So, Excalibur says, okay, they're talking to Excalibur. Is it talking to me? Yeah? Okay. Sally says, hello, Mehran. Hello, Sally. Glad to see you. Good to see you. Excalibur says, great answer, Mehran. I love how the answers come to you spontaneously. Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird, but it does. Carpe Diem, hit that like button, friends. Yes, thank you. Carpe Diem is here, and everybody who's kind enough to hit the like button, I appreciate it. And Ashwin says, thank you so much, Mehran. You give me mortal motivation with every live video and your simple yet such perfect answers. I can only imagine how different things would be if I hadn't come across your channel. Well, thank you very much, Ashwin. This is a wonderful feedback, and I hope that you can simply go to the link that I put in here, which is the video that I ask if this channel has been helpful to you guys, and you can put this wonderful comment there if you like, or some other wonderful comment. So please, guys, don't forget to go on that link, which is a video called Has This Channel Been Useful to You, or Has This Channel Been Helpful to You? And the link, I put it up there. Use it, go there, like the video, and comment if it has or not, which I hope it has, and that will help me to read them and find out how helpful it's been to you. And at the same time, it would put us as a you know, it makes our presence known and kind of a testimonial for our subscribers. So maybe I would then take that and put it as the one of the videos that newcomers will get to see, and they will read all these comments and will be encouraged to know what this channel is all about, and that could help them to make their decision to subscribe and join us. And that is why it's also important, not just for me to read it and see how you guys feel, which I already know because I get thousands of comments and thousands of emails that they tell me how this channel has been helpful to them, but I also would love to have it there for the reasons that I just described and explained. El Haj says, sir, what do you think about the people who are racist? Not much. Racist people have no business being a racist, because basically they are stupid, dumb to think that race has anything to do with value of a human being. You know, simple. Has nothing to do what color you are, how you look like, what religion you have, what nationality you have, what gender you have, has nothing to do with what kind of human being you are or can be. A human being should be judged the same way that any other human being is judged, which is by the effect that they have on the society they live in, the community they live in, on the positive effects or negative effects that they have on the society and the community they live amongst, how they affect positively their friends and families and colleagues and in social gatherings, what kind of role model they are to other people, and what kind of role model they are to children. I don't care what color you are, where you come from, what religion you have, what gender you have. If you're still a good role model for other people, if you're still a good role model for children, if you consider the rights of other people, if you consider how children should be treated and what rights they should have, how they should be protected, if you consider how positively you affect the other people in the world, in the society, in the community you live in, what your contribution is to the humanity, to the society, that's how we should be judged, and not based on what color my skin is. What the fuck, that doesn't have to do with you, what color my skin is or not, where I was born, what part of this earth I happen to be born in. What difference does that make? As far as how I'm built, I still have the same things you have. I have a heart, a liver, a kidney, I have eyes, or don't have. Well, I have I would like to have it. So all these things that makes a human being, we're all the same anywhere we're born, however we are. What makes us different is how we affect the others, positively or negatively. How we affect the society and the communities that we live in. How we affect positively the world, or we are not. How we help the others to grow and develop. How we respect their rights and their freedom. And how do we help to protect each other? These are what really makes us more valuable or less valuable than each other. Not the color of our skin, or religion, religious background, or the nationality, or the gender. You know, we all have to understand we all have same rights. And we should be treated equally respectful and protected equally the same way. That's it. Why are you making it so complicated? These people who are racist, they're simply assholes. That means they're just fearful. That means they don't consider themselves up to par. That's why they have to pretend they are bigger and try to try to demean others in order to feel important. They always say there's two ways to have the tallest building in town. One is to destroy all the other towers. So yours will look like it's tallest because you destroyed the others. But the other one is keep building your own tower, your own building. Keep building, keep focusing, and then go on with your life. Now these people who are racist, obviously they have no ability to build your own buildings and become a person that people would like them based on who they are and what contribution they are making to their communities. They have to actually, they're not capable, so they go start destroying other people or plan to destroy or demean other people because they can't be seen as anything tall or important if they don't destroy other things, because they have no ability to build theirs to become anything. That's how I think. Because if somebody is confident, why would you need to badmouth or destroy or be against or bring harm to the others? You just do your own thing, be good at what you're doing, you know. If you really have confidence in what a good shoemaker you are, why do you have to go and destroy other shoemaking companies or shoemaking stores? Once you believe in yourself, keep making good shoes. The same thing with any other profession or business or industry or behavior or personality. It's all about compassion, respect, and love, and understanding that we are all in it together. We all have the same needs and fears and hopes and aspirations and concerns. If we understand that, that's a day that racism doesn't even make sense. It can't even survive, can't even be considered as anything to discuss, because it wouldn't exist, because everybody has understood that it's so stupid. That's what I think. Yeah. Yeah, Excalibur, just finish it and get it over with, and then you will have the time to not do what you don't like to do. Just keep going up, finish that degree, the master's degree, whatever it is that you're studying. Finish it and don't deviate from it now. You know, just keep going, finish it. Sally says, is it normal for someone to think about ex-girlfriend but don't want her back? Of course it is, because it's ex-girlfriend also represents sex and intimacy. It doesn't mean just because you like sex with her and intimacy with her, the good parts with her or the fun parts with her, it doesn't mean that she's actually right for you, or you want to put up with all the other things that it also comes with her. You know, it's like a rose. It doesn't mean just because you like the rose and how it looks and how it smells, you also enjoy that, grabbing it and get all the thorns tear up your hands. So just thinking about the rose, you can think about the smell of it and how nice it is, but also understand that you don't want to hold it. It's simple, you know, the simplest way I could put it. So you can think of her, because obviously there's been some good things about her, but obviously there's been not so good things in that relationship. That's why you guys broke up, you're now together. So you can think about the pleasure parts, that's fine, but it doesn't mean just because you're thinking about the pleasure parts and there was some pleasures in something, some activity in some relationship, and that means you should want that back, because that's just part of the whole picture. And so the part that was good, you enjoy, and the part that is about being together, you don't want her back, well, you don't have to focus on that. And Joe says, I started meditating a few months ago, but I haven't been doing it regularly. How do you find the motivation to keep going? Well, turn the meditation duration to short. The reason you stopped doing it because you were trying to do it all at one day, like an hour meditation or half an hour meditation or 15 minutes meditation. And you couldn't endure it because it's hard to settle the mind when the mind hasn't been conditioned to learn its discipline of settling down. It's always been agitating, it's always been all over the place. It's been conditioned to be dissipated, it's all over the place and not focused. So to teach it focus is like getting a horse that has always been in running around wild here and there, now trying to teach it, okay, listen, you got to go on this line, you got to do dressage, you got to have this foot forward, you got to jump this fence, and you got to come at the other fence, you got to listen to how we want to go left and right. And all these signals takes time, because it's been always, you know, happy to do whatever it was doing and was not following any principles or any discipline. Now, the same thing, the mind has been always going everywhere, and no discipline and no ability to focus. Never learned that focus, concentration is power. The thought just knowing things and noticing things is power. So when you try to do all that in 1 or 2 or 10 or 100 seating, it will get better and better, and you may decide to do it longer and longer. But at the beginning, if you want to do it longer, you get bored and you can't keep the mind focused and calm, and it will be agitated, and it goes back and forth here and there, and then makes you impatient and you don't want to do it, and that's why you will stop. So bring the duration of the meditation, your practice, to a few minutes. Start with 2 minutes, and then you feel like doing it more next day, do 2.5 or 3 minutes. Do it as long as it feels good, not a certain time allocated to, okay, I'm going to be doing meditation for half an hour now. Right off the bat, oh shit, half an hour, are you kidding me? And right away you create thinking in your whole mind. A process will bring more agitation, because you now think, oh, when is a half an hour is going to be over? But if you think about 5 minutes, by the time you get ready, 5 minutes over, you say, oh, okay, that was easy. And 3 minutes, that was easy. 5 minutes, well, okay, I can do 6. I don't care even. I don't even think about it. And then you get to the point, I don't want to have any kind of a time for it. I just do meditate and see. When I want to stop, I stop. When I feel good, I stay there. So on that way, there's no pressure, and you'll be able to enjoy it more. Okay. David says 25 viewers. Oh, great. 25 watching. All 25, whoever here, please do us a favor. Like this stream if you like it. And that's it. What else? There's no end. Excalibur says, Mehran, is intimacy a primary need? Well, intimacy, of course, is very important to everybody, because that is part of the moments that in which you will forget every other worry, concerns, and challenge that might be in your path. You will hardly even remember yourself. You become one with that emotion, that ecstasy, that climax, that emotion. You turn into emotion instead of an entity of mind and body. You just become all emotion. You will not even be aware of your own physical being with the right experience. And that is when you forget all the challenges, all the hardship, all the negativities, all the responsibilities, all the things that have made this life a little bit more challenging than it needs to be. So intimacy is your escape, and that's why the person that you've been intimate with, your girlfriend, seems to be like a god to you, because through her you used to arrive to these state of nothingness, and yet everything else. Nothingness when you won't even remember who you are, where you are, what you are, and you're totally one with the emotion, with the nature, with the universe, with the energy, and at the same time you feel nothing, and at the same time you feel everything is perfect and you have everything. So you have no need of anything, and you have no concerns at that moment, which is, you attribute that to that girlfriend or whatever your situation is, that relationship, that partner. And then you think, when it breaks up, then you feel devastated because you think all that you could achieve and feel was because of her. But it wasn't because of her, because of that stage of intimacy. So it is the intimacy that is very important, that you should focus. The ones who have broken up and the relationship you've tried and it didn't work and you broke up, you've got to focus that why you want your ex back is not because the ex was all that, because where you would end up being in the intimacy through the relationship is what you're missing, not the girlfriend or whatever it is, your situation. Okay, so Cleo says, thank you, you're welcome. Yes, thank you, Excalibur. Yeah, I said, yeah, we missed, that's true, and you said you miss us back. Yeah, that's very kind, thank you. Jean says, Jean Picard, thanks for your helpful advice that gives us a clearer view to make important decisions in life. Male, Belgium 37. Thank you for being here and sharing your time with us, Jean. I appreciate that. Make sure you do please go on the link that I put in here about the video that I uploaded yesterday. It says, has this channel been helpful to you? And the link is there. Just go there and like the video, and maybe you write a little comment that will help us to have it as a testimony that this channel is helpful, and at the same time for me to read it and see how you guys feel about the channel and how it's been helpful to you while you have expressed it already. Olga says, hello Mehran. Hello Olga. Dobre večer. Kako vas dela? Hope normalna. Okay. Or хорошо, either one. Ashwin says, I'm sorry, I'm flooded with questions in my mind today. Okay, don't be sorry. Teresa says, Mehran's answer to the race question is awesome. I'm applauding. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And Elhaj says, I love your answer. Okay, great. Steve Harvey. That's a familiar name. I have seen this name before, but I haven't seen it for a long time. I think you're a subscriber. You might have asked questions in past years. I do remember the name. Hello, Mehran. He says, hello, Steve. I'm 25 and was in a relationship with a girl. We both loved each other. However, she wasn't willing to fight for the relationship like I was, how can I move on from here? Thank you. Why do you want to be with someone who, when you go to battle, doesn't want to fight alongside you? The question is not how to move on. The question is, why aren't you moving on? What else are you waiting? What? You want her to come and what? Shove a stick off your back to show you that she's not the partner you were looking for? What does it take for you to see it? If you guys had the opportunity to make it work and you tried, but she wasn't willing to try, so doesn't that disqualify her from being on your team, being on your side, pulling the same wagon like the two horses working together? Why would you want to pull a wagon with another horse which wants to go this direction while you got to go this direction? The destination is set to be there, but she wants to go this way. Why is it that you can't move on? You, of anything, would say, I want to cut this rope. She can go where she wants to go. I want to take this wagon to where it's supposed to go. Because you guys decided that this would be what you want to do. That's why you got in a relationship. You will be teaming up, pulling toward a certain common goal, making a relationship work. But if she doesn't want to have that role, the question is, why do you want her to be around? So you are now free to be able to find another horse to pull the wagon to where it's supposed to be logical for two horses to take a wagon to. Simple. The question is not how you can move on. The question is why you're not moving on. All the reason for you to be happy is there. You're free from something that was dragging you down. It's like telling me, Mehran, I have this big weight of lead hanging to my leg, and I wonder why I can't swim. And I just want to be able to have this lead that is actually pulling me down and drowning me, wanting to kill me. I want that lead to be hung on my leg still. And I wonder why I can't swim. Well, you got to cut that shit out. Then you will see how wonderfully you swim, you're capable of, and that's what you should be focusing on. That you don't want that lead weight tied to your legs. You want it to be the way it is. You want it to be freed because you didn't want to have a lead hanging on to your leg as it was. She wasn't fighting for it. It was like a weight hanging on instead of being some kind of a little automatic diver's boat that will propel and help and pull you and swim beside you, and together you could push a whole boat forward. But instead, you're wondering about why you cannot be happy from the fortune that you have, which is having gotten rid of a weight that was pulling you down and not letting you swim and go where you're supposed to go and find the shore and picnic there and fish there and enjoy and live happily ever after. Instead, you're saying, oh, I wanted this thing that was actually pulling me back and not caring. And when I was trying to pull this weight off of this product or whatever it is, this goodies off of the shore, from the ocean to the shore, it was not helping. But I still want it. Why would you want someone who's not helping to make something work? So if she wasn't fighting for the relationship, that means she wasn't qualified to be in that relationship. So move on. Don't ponder on this sort of nonsense. Move on. Okay, I hope you get the gist of it. Caged Rage says, good morning from Brisbane, Austria. Oh, Austria. Wunderbar. Kind of. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think speak German. Deutsch there. Ashwin says, how do you grow your self-respect and confidence? By accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish, by being fair to yourself and educating yourself, researching on what you want, accomplishing what it is that you want to accomplish, at least doing your best in that path, and then you will have the confidence. Accomplishing the things that you set out to accomplish will help you bring that confidence. But if you want to get confidence by just buying things and being in a relationship, getting that confidence because you are with a girl or you're in a relationship, that's just nonsense. That's not going to work. I seem to have had difficulty having conversations in general with other people, male or female, which makes moving on slightly more difficult. Well, okay, when you want to have a conversation with someone, if you're really having a hard time, just consider they're sitting and shitting. That's it. Consider them, they've gotten up in the morning and they're sitting on the toilet and they're shitting. And that quickly tells you they're no different than you. They have nothing more than you. And you feel like, whoa, you've got all your clothes on, and in your imagination, they're naked and sitting and shitting, and they look funny and needy, and they don't look so big. And, you know, suddenly you will look at them like they are human beings. That's all, no more. And if that's too funny for you, start cracking up and you're doing that, then all you have to do, look at their feet. When you look at someone's face, that's where the eyes are, and that's where they have this, you perceive them as something, you see them as some character you saw in the movie with the same posture, or same look, or same whatever, and you think of them as something that they're more than what they are, because you don't see them anymore. You see the idea of them, and in your mind you have seen some posture of this kind, some grooming of this kind, some clothing of this kind, a man or woman in some movie, and you perceive them as the character in that movie. Maybe it was a powerful or capable character in that movie, or some other personas that you have seen in life, and you perceive this person rather than seeing them. And then you kind of interpreting the expressions, the facial expressions that they have, and the frowning and the expectations of this and that, and disagreement or agreement, or all their features in their facial expressions will communicate with you some kind of energy which could make you feel like perceiving something other than what it is, and buying into the bullshit that they're trying to portray of themselves, rather than seeing them as just a simple human being. So when that happens, simply look at their feet. You can see how fragile and normal they are. They're just another feet, and no different than you. And suddenly you don't see their clothes, you don't see their facial expressions, you don't see their frown or dissatisfaction or dissatisfied facial expressions, or their voice, or whatever it is. You won't be impressed by anything. You'll just look at their feet and say, hey, that's it. That's what they are. They're pretending they're more than that. If they're not pretending, you are giving them a certain kind of echelon based on what you see and you perceive them, rather than what they really are. So look at their feet and their shoes, and suddenly you can see that they're just as needy as you are, to have shoes on, and then to have clothes on. They have to eat, and suddenly you are treating them as human being, not anything more, and that will also show them that they're in the same level as you are, and you have nothing less than them, they have nothing more than you. And suddenly you will be far more confident than you were before, because this is your perception that makes something out of them that they're not, and make them something out of them that they're not, and they seem to be more than you, because you create that in your mind about them, and don't. And these are the ways, some of the simple ways that you can perhaps use and see how that works. All right. Remember, the importance of things and people is equal to your desire and need for them. I've said that in my other videos before. The importance of things and people is equal to your desire for them, to your need for them. So if you're talking with a woman and all you're thinking about is how beautiful she is, and you really love to get to know her, and how it would feel to be in a relationship with her, and to, you know, go on, have date and get to know her and have dinner, or, you know, go to a movie, or, you know, have sex with her and stuff, like all these things, these are your needs that are in your genes, and you're following that, and your desires, you've created the desire for something more than just a interaction of a human to human interaction. It's based on what you're programmed to need and desire on other levels with this, let's say, woman. And suddenly she becomes very important, because your need and desire for her, it doesn't let you see her as equal, because suddenly your desire overrides who you are and becomes more important than anything else to you, and you're following your desire, and then you want to achieve that desire to fluff your ego, and all of that come into the picture and doesn't let you actually see that person's quality of who she is, because your need and desire for whatever it is that you're hoping for takes over. It masks you, doesn't let you actually treat her as a human being, but instead as someone who can help you to fulfill your desire, which would then you will hopefully hoping to fluff your ego with, and the rest of it. So if you use these silly techniques that I just told you about, then you will not consider them with your need for them, and you will just see them as what they are, without having a need or desire about them. You know, if you're talking with a colleague who's a man, is not a woman, so you don't have the emotions, other emotions that you have for a woman, but you will see maybe that colleague is in a higher post, and you will have the need of the affirmation or compatibility or agreement with what he's saying, so you can have a positive evaluation in his mind, that you can have maybe secure your job or have a better opportunity. All these are the needs. So suddenly that person becomes important, and suddenly you think that person is more important than you, because you have a need for his affirmation, or his putting a good word for you in the company, or whatever it is. So if you understand that, you can see that the importance of things and people are equal to your need and desire for them. So if you can take that away, maybe you look at their shoes, then you will see, well, just another human being, and it will be easier for you to deal with it, until it becomes natural, and you don't see anybody as anything more than you just see them all as the consciousnesses, human beings, and you become more and more confident, and you will deal with them just normally, without any inferior feeling of any kind, which is the way it should be. Tiffany says, I love your analogies. I'm glad you enjoyed, Tiffany. Lottie says, so I sort of didn't explain that well. Some people think that I am only better at remembering bad things. It's like a suggestion of a thought that shocks you. I need to forget somehow. So I sort of didn't explain that well, she says. Some people think that I'm only better at remembering bad things. It's like a suggestion of thought that shocks you. I need to forget somehow. You are saying that you want to know how to forget the bad things. The bad things are usually forgotten naturally, because human beings' tendency is to remember the good stuff, especially in relationships. That's why you keep missing your ex, because you're only focusing on the good stuff and you don't bring the whole file up. Or if you're talking about how to forget about your memories, then maybe you want to watch that video that I have how to delete your memory. And that helps you to understand the role of neurotransmitters and the role of synaptic neurons and so on, and then it will become clear to you the importance of understanding how the process works in unlearning and unremembering things, which is a long process. If I want to go into it, there'll be like 20 minutes discussion. But if you go and look up the video that I have says how to delete your memory, then that will be an interesting one for you to take a look, and perhaps that would be of some help. Tuta says, Mehran, please do more like this live videos. You are the greatest. Tuta, I have live talks almost 4 or 5 times a week. Just last 3-4 days I didn't have it, but I've been busy a little bit for other things. But we've been having live talks. Right now, this is number what? 156? Since 2016, I've been live talks. I have had live talks 2 times a week. One on Facebook, one on... it was always on Facebook for a while. And since a couple of months ago, I was able to learn how to do it on YouTube. And still the quality is not as good because sometimes it goes wacky here. But I have been doing it on YouTube now, gee, every day pretty much for the past while. You know, at least 3-4 times a week, if not 5. So, by all means, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And remember, guys, like the live talk streams just right now before you forget, and go to that video that I've uploaded yesterday. Says, has this channel been helpful to you? And like it and make a comment. It will help us to attract more subscribers when we can refer them to a video that would show them how people think about this channel. And that's important for us. So please, if you haven't, please go ahead and do it once we're done here. And Anand says, good evening, Mehran. Good evening, Anand. Pleasure watching you for a few years now. Listening to your advice has helped me in many aspects of life, and I am sure it will continue to do so. Thank you. Keep it up. Vaheguru. Thank you very much. I am sure it's a positive word. I just don't know what it means. The last word. I appreciate your kindness to be here, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the channel. And thank you for a good, kind comment. I think you left a comment on the has this channel been helpful to you video that I uploaded yesterday. I'm not sure, but I think you did, and I think I responded to you. If that is, at least it was the same name, Anand, but unless it's different name there. But I just don't know what Waheguru means, and maybe that will help me to learn a new word. And then also says, it's a shame to see your channel doesn't have the subscribers it deserves. Continue to focus on branding and keep up the consistency, and I'm sure the results will come. You have a great character. Thank you very much, Anand. I appreciate that. And of course, I would really need your help, everybody's help, every subscriber's help, by sharing the videos on your social medias, sharing the videos that you like on social medias, different videos, different times. Keep sharing them, because it's the sharing that has put us on the map. The fact that we have increased in subscriptions in the past couple of weeks, over 150, is because of the sharings and because of these live talks and so on and so forth. Please continue sharing. If you haven't, please do. And if you have connections with any televisions, radio or newspaper or sites that are willing to look at our channel and maybe make a little shout out or a little report on it, we would greatly appreciate it. If you have people in that industry, you can use that as to help us out and so on. I would be grateful. Olga says, I noticed that I'm always putting men on the pedestal. Do you now? Well, that's good. And not everyone, of course. Oh, okay, that's good. It's like I'm less and they're great. strong, smart, and I need to deserve their love. Yeah, but you know, this is what most men do for girls. And this is something I didn't know that you also, you girls also do that as often as you say. I know that some would probably do it, but in most cases, it's happening with men who put women on pedestal, because naturally intimacy and sex is very important for men, and when they like women and sex is very important to them, it takes them to the place that they cannot reach it without a woman, and therefore the woman becomes so important, and somehow that brings that feeling of putting the woman on pedestal, because simply this is something they really like, and it's important to them, the feeling they get from their relationship with that woman. And at the same time, they know that the women have been conditioned to think that they're in demand, and everybody and every woman, every man who likes women wants them, and therefore that makes it a little bit uncomfortable for men who are in relationship with you, with the woman, that they feel like they have to put her on pedestal in order to keep her, because otherwise she's not going to be focused and content to a relationship, committed to a relationship, because she will be having so many distractions, or so many attempt to take her attention away. And that is something that the women who don't want to be put on pedestal and want to have a healthy relationship should be able to communicate to their man, that they are committed to the relationship and they are able to handle other interests from other men easily, and not allowing them to think that there is a possibility of relationship here with them who are in a relationship with their boyfriends or husbands already. So that is something that the woman should communicate to their man, and with words and her actions, to make the man feel comfortable, that he doesn't have to be fearful of any kind of a outside influence. And the same thing the man should do for the woman, that should communicate this to his woman, that he will not be swayed by other interests of other women who may have some plans or agenda on him, that he is committed to the relationship. So she doesn't have to feel like she has to put her boyfriend on a pedestal more than necessary in either case. So getting back to Olga's question, she said, not everyone, of course, it's like I'm less and they're great. Okay. And says, I need, it looks like that they're strong, smart, and I need to deserve their love. Maybe it's because my father didn't. Oh yeah, my father didn't live with us and didn't really love me ever. I don't care about him now, but I really want to be confident, and instead I automatically make men great in my eyes, better than I am, even though I know it's not like that. How to deal with that? But you have to understand that you got to treat each case individually. Your father does not represent all of the men that you are in a position to be their daughter, and you have to prove your love and deserving their love. It was your father. It was one instance. It was one relationship. It was one unique relationship. It was your father, and that's how you felt, because he wasn't giving you the love. Because it's not that you weren't lovable. Because he didn't know how to love. Because he was not loved. He didn't know what love is. He didn't know how to express love. He was not sure of himself. He didn't think he's deserved enough, important enough to have anything to offer. That's why he was so into himself, or insecure that he could not think that he's worthy of anything, maybe, to give you love. Or if he thought he's worthy, he was not capable of giving love because he didn't know what love is. He was never loved himself. So he had no knowledge of something exists as loving his daughter, or loving his son. That was his shortcoming, not your shortcoming. There was nothing wrong with you. You were lovable as you ever been. But if someone cannot appreciate the value of a diamond, that doesn't make the diamond devaluated. It just means this person is not qualified to enjoy or to know what diamond is or appreciate what diamond is. If somebody doesn't like spaghetti, that doesn't take anything away from a spaghetti. Spaghetti is still delicious and billions of people around the world love it. So it just means that person is not capable, is not qualified, it doesn't have high enough taste to enjoy spaghetti. That's all. Otherwise, him liking the spaghetti doesn't make the spaghetti more delicious or more likable or more popular, or him not liking spaghetti doesn't make the spaghetti to be less popular, less tasty, or anything like that. Spaghetti is spaghetti. It's just his ability not to be able to express that interest or have the taste palates to enjoy and appreciate the spaghetti, or his ability to appreciate diamond, or his ability to extend and express love, because he doesn't know what love is. So it's his shortcoming. But because you were a kid, you thought there's something that you have to do in order to deserve some of his love, because you were normal, because you thought anybody would be able to express and understand what love is to give to their daughter or to their sons, because you were normal. This is what you thought a human being is, because you're balanced. But it was him who couldn't express that, because look, if an adult cannot express love to the most and purest and innocent entity in this world, children, then you can be damn sure there's nothing wrong with that child. Is something wrong with that person who's incapable of loving a lovable thing, which is children. So you can be clear of that. And you cannot use one example in this special circumstance of a father and daughter, and the need of a daughter for emotional reciprocation of a parent, and express it like this is how you should try so hard to get another man's affection towards you, just because your father, you had to work so hard to get some recognition or affection. Anybody, whether you were a child and it was your father, or whether you're an adult and it's your boyfriend or the possible husband, if they cannot express and reciprocate the emotion that you're expressing, well, there's something wrong with them. You should learn that. Just because some other people can't make a good food, that doesn't mean that you're not a good cook. It's their cooking, it's their inability, and not yours. You're not supposed to constantly run around, prove to whoever is your boyfriend that you deserve their love. No. See if they actually deserve your love. And if that's the case, then it will balance itself out. And if they're normal, they would reciprocate. They show you. But if you keep doing it, what motivation do they have to actually think that they have to do anything to express their love to you? Obviously, they think, oh, if they're selfish and if they're not really a balanced human being, they feel like there's no need for them to do anything or to show any kind of emotion towards you, because you're there and doing everything for them and you're showing all the love. So they kind of try to use you. You got to understand that person before you pour the love towards them. You got to see if they have the capacity and respect for your love, and they would be able to cherish it or take care of it or appreciate it before you keep giving it. But when you keep giving it and the person is selfish or self-centered or really is incapable of responding to love and be kind and generous and considerate, then you have made the mistake to actually put the food in front of a lion who's not supposed to have your food. You know? You can't put a little kitten in front of a lion. Oh, well, that's the same thing. You can't put a little mouse in front of the cat and you expect, he's going to be wise enough to understand. No, you got to see if that cat is trained, is capable of taking care of this mouse. And then, okay. So you got to understand, it's an analogy, maybe it doesn't work, but hopefully it does. So if you first understand if this person can handle kindness, can reciprocate, is equipped, is intelligent enough, is emotionally balanced enough to be able to handle, reciprocate to your kindness and attention, unless you're sure of that, unless you examine that, unless you qualify that, you shouldn't be, putting everything on the table and be so kind and generous in your emotions all the time, because that will train them to think that by their being an asshole or not sensitive enough or kind enough or compassionate or loving or reciprocating, they're still getting all that you have to offer. So what are you teaching them? That you don't worth much? That you're going to be giving this no matter what? You have to have a balance in there. You give it to someone who is capable of taking care of what you're giving them. Yeah? If you give a sandwich or a cake that you put some time in and bake this thing to someone and that person just throws it in the garbage, why would you keep baking for that person? So you got to see that. First give them a little bit, see if they enjoyed it with enjoyment. So, thank you so much, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. So kind of you. Then you say, okay, I'll give you a little bit more. Because it looks like he's polite and kind and appreciates this cake. But if you keep giving it to them when they keep throwing it out and put it there and sit on it or walk on it and say, what the hell is this? They have no respect for what you're doing for them, and you will lose confidence in yours, and you think that you constantly got to do more to get their attention, to reciprocate and show you some love. So have respect for yourself. Hope that would be helpful to you, Olga. Jen says, hi Mehran. Hello, Jen. You have been away for a bit, I think. You haven't joined us. Nice to see you, Jen says. Have you heard about DJ Avicii suicide 1 week ago? No, I haven't. I don't know who that person is, and I don't know about that. He was only 28 and so successful and rich. He even had a girlfriend and were a plastic dad. He was a plastic dad. What is a plastic dad? For her 2-year-old little boy. Is it strange that I grieve him? I saw him on a festival only, but he is born same year as me, and it feels so sick that he had so much to look forward to. I'm still shocked he wanted to die. What is your thought on suicide and to commit it so young and successful? I don't understand him. He had health issues but seemed relaxed last year. Well, dear, I have many videos on suicide, and you can watch those and you will see my thoughts are. I basically have a great respect for life, and I think that is the most biggest treasure of our life, to have an opportunity to be alive, to be here, to be chosen, to be living and experiencing this life the way it is. And I just simply hope that nobody would ever consider taking that gift of life away from themselves, and help themselves to appreciate the opportunity they have and go through this beautiful journey with its experiences, ups and downs, and then whatever later, when the time comes, we all eventually one day have to leave. So why to expedite something that is going to happen at one time anyhow? Until that day comes, let us learn more, let us experience more, let us be enjoying and loving life and learning as much as we can, so when we actually, it's time for us to go, we will have some wisdom that we gained from this experience of living here in the form that we are, and help the universe as collective consciousness of the universe to become wiser through the experiences that we went through in this journey of life. ourselves. So I hope everybody would appreciate their life a lot more than they seem to, and enjoy the wonders that this life can bring for them, and keep their hopes and help themselves. And if they have to seek medical attention for their particular situation, they should, to help themselves to regain their balance and enjoy this life further, and be part of the whole community, that we all need each other. Every one of us is an important piece of this puzzle to make this whole picture of life work. We all need each other, and life without one of us will not be the same. And every one of us, whether we know it or not, we have a certain responsibility and role, important role in this whole picture as a piece of it, that we need to contribute and be there to make everybody else's life, and everybody else to make our life all become complete and be on its path to fruition, and a complete experience and healthy experience. So I hope that we will all pay more attention to the importance of life and help to preserve it, and help each other to have a good and healthy and safe and secure life. Anand says, indeed, it's our job as well to contribute to the success and growth of this channel, to be an inspiration to millions. Take it from here, Mehran. Okay, good. Thank you, Anand. I appreciate it. Ashwin says, is it possible that one can be attached to an ex in not such a sexual way, but also truly cared about them, and that is possibly what holds you back, and not have that feeling for anyone else? Well, why do you care about an ex that doesn't care about you? Isn't that a bit of a selfishness, that you're actually, think about it, you're actually seeking a special attention by what you have created in your consciousness as the controller, as the watcher, as the observer, or as your God, a higher self that is watching over and judging you with your actions and your thoughts. And you have created this fictitious, or this position of this watcher to command you, or make you feel responsible to be good to someone who doesn't even give a damn about you and has broken off and go. Why should you be responsible? I say you should respect and wish her well and health and safety in her journey, but that doesn't mean that while she's going on her journey, you should be stuck here and not continue your journey, and not respect and love yourself and the life that you could be experiencing. So the fact that you want to still be thinking about it and care about them is a certain selfishness that you're asking from your own observer, that you think it's watching and judging you, judging your thoughts and your action. You're wanting the attention of this controller, this watcher, this your higher self, as you call it, to give you special kudos and brownie points because you care. You care. Because you want, in the eyes of this watcher that you have created in your own consciousness, to be considered a good person. And that is where the selfishness comes from. Let go of her, wish her well, and you go on and build your life. And then you will feel much happier by yourself, because you're now being balanced and not seeking special attention, even from what you have created in your own mind as the controller, watcher, observer, and consider it possibly as someone who's judging you, or something that is judging you, a higher self. And in that higher self's mind, you're seeking special attention to feel good about yourself, which is nonsense and selfishness, which you should stay away from it. Free yourself from this nonsense and move on to your life. Wish her well, and that's the extent of it. Now go on. Orange Ram. Orange Ram, okay. My ex wants to meet up for smoothies. Okay. I still have feelings for her, but I understand things are over and I'm ready to move on. But is going with her to get smoothies a bad idea? Well, as long as you think that's all you're going to be getting, smoothies, then you'll be fine. But if you're going with the idea of smoothie, but you really have eyes on something else, then you may be disappointed. So she may be wanting to, kind of fluff her own ego and boost her own confidence, because perhaps, I'm not sure, maybe she hasn't really found that much of interest out there on her, and she feels a little bit low in confidence, so she's coming back to you to go for a smoothie and then make herself feel good, because you're going to be, begging and crawling and crying or trying to hit on her or say something that will make her feel good. And she knows that. And she's going to say, no, I told you it's broken. It's with, and then she puts her in a powerful position, which she's lacking right now. And that's maybe, not necessarily is why she wants to go for a smoothie with her. So you can smooch a little bit and she'll feel good about herself. So if you decide to go, just go there as a friend and just totally oblivious that you actually like her or you have feeling about her or you want her. Don't even mention it, not even a second. If you wanted to mention it, just kick yourself in the face or do something, pinch yourself not to do that, because that is where it's going to put you in even a lower place that you are right now in her mind. So make sure you just go for a smoothie and don't talk about your feelings or emotions or your interest in her to get back to her and whatnot, so forth. None of that. Have a smoothie of talk and about whatever it is. And if she wants to talk about guys, you say, listen, I know whatever you want to talk about, but I'm not interested about you talking about other guys. Otherwise, I would be wanting to talk to you about the girls, and I don't think that's appropriate. We were together right now. We better just have our smoothie and enjoy and talk about something else. That's it. So the rest of it is up to you. Yeah, I know. You say you don't want to get back to her, but you're a guy and you like girls, and you're going to be feeling, randy or whatever, and you're going to say stupid things, and you're going to just make it look like as you really want her back, and she's going to turn you down, because that's she's going to feel powerful by that, especially now that you guys are not together, and then you'll feel like shit when you come back. So just go for a smoothie and that's it. Keep it at that. Nothing else. Excalibur says, Mehran, did you ever think about how close your name sounds to Tehran? Yes, I do, of course. But it has no, not even close meanings at all. Yeah, take the T off, put an M, and that's it. That's my name. That's how I help my friends who may not have an easy time to learn it, to remember it. Maybe the first time I meet someone. So if they're having a little, kind of challenge, I just say take the T off, put an M, and that's it. If they know that capital. Anyhow. Olga says, thank you so much. You're so right. Well, good. Excalibur says, holy shit, Mehran, 3 hours again. Oh my goodness. It's 2.5 actually. We had a longer one last time. Mehran and Tehran both. Yeah, okay, good. Ashwin says, thank you so much, Mehran. You've put so much into perspective right now. Okay, great. Now, guys, it looks like that I've caught up with all the questions, and I hope that I have. And please do like this stream as you are before you leave me here. And please do go on that video that I uploaded yesterday. I put the link up here, which says, has this channel been helpful to you? Please go in that, watch that 2-minute thingy, and click on like and make a comment and tell me how it's been helping you, just maybe in a line or two, or however you feel comfortable, and that would help us to use it as a testimony for other people who want to join us, because they're probably going to check it out, and perhaps I will put it as a temporary introduction for the new visitors that will help us maybe to get on the map and encourage them to join us and become a subscriber, which is what we are hoping to do. And please do continue to share the videos that you like on your social media. Don't give up on that. I'm not giving up this end, and hopefully we'll all see this channel go where we hope for it to go. And Ashwin says, thank you again. We said that. And Jen says, please wait, one question. Jen, you be quick. No, it's okay. So, guys, I think I already said the goodbyes, and I will answer this question, and we'll go on our way. Jen says, thank you, Mehran. Your answer about suicide were great, and the love sign. I had contact now with a guy I met on a wedding last summer. He was taken, but his girlfriend of 2.5 years broke up with him 1 month ago. To find herself. Oh, okay. To find herself, she should get a map, and she would know where she is. I saw that in a comedian joke. She told him that she has to find herself. I comforted him, and he said it was some magic around us back at the wedding, and he'd like to see me soon again. I agreed, but the thing is, I'm afraid to be a rebound. So what? So if it's a rebound, you'll know. Just don't go all the way into the ocean. Just go as far as your toes can touch the bottom floor of the ocean. Meaning, don't rush into this relationship. Just go tiptoe and see. And by time passes, you know, you will see if it's a rebound or not. It could be, but so what? You will see. Just don't get hurt if you don't want to, by knowing this, that this could be a rebound. But otherwise, don't be afraid. If you can be afraid, then you will never really experience that what could have been not something you should have been afraid of. And Jen says, I suggested we see each other in 1 month after my exam, and he might finish grieve their breakup. But he said that that's too long time. We could meet quickly at least. I told him, okay, yes. But then he's been quiet 1 week now. I don't mind, but felt like he was sour. I suggested meet in June before. Anyway, I won't care. I need to focus on studies, but what's your thoughts? Tiffany, you have a competitor, and she's making a bigger book than you did, so I don't know where to go with this. This is now 1 chapter. We're now in chapter 34, and Jen says, I like him, but I want to be careful because I might be in risk of being his rebound. Okay, so you're a rebound. So what? So so I think you simply gotta consider that it could be a rebound, and the fact that he's already broken up with some girl that she left him, he's obviously want to meet with you sooner because he wants to feel this remedy, this patch, this cold ice on the hot injured muscle. He quickly wants to get relief from the pain of it and to be distracted by you, and hopefully, maybe, or not hopefully, but he was probably hoping, he's probably hoping for maybe something more, just to take his mind off of that girl. But you're right, it's too early for the guy, because I don't know, I think it's sometimes, in not all, but in some girls it's different. They can simply go out with the next guy the next day, because it's not like they just broke up. They have been thinking about breaking up for a month or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6 months, and until this time they have found somebody else already. So when they break up with this guy, they're fine because they've already started a relationship with somebody else. But guys don't do that. Guys, especially when the girl is initiating the breakup, they never even knew it's coming, so they never even had the chance to start a relationship with somebody else or be prepared for it. And if they are the ones who are breaking up, they're usually, it's not because they found somebody else. It's possible, but not the way that the girls are calculating. And I don't mean to be offensive to you girls out there, but it's the way it is. We have all experienced it. Girls are more calculating and smarter than boys in these departments. They figure out something for themselves before they actually. So that girl might already be with somebody, and he was not ready for it and is really hurting. And you being in the middle to try to remedy his wound, you won't even know if his responses towards you is really genuine, or he's just appreciative because somebody is giving him water when he's so thirsty. Somebody is giving him some medication on his wound, and he's appreciative. But you really don't know if he would respond the same way if he wasn't wounded. So that is why you're right. You just tiptoe around it and just meet on, but don't give him too much hope, or not enough hope, because he may be depressed or really in need of hearing some hopeful points from you, and he might be so disappointed from the girlfriend that even he's considering, should he go out with you or see you or not? What's the use? I'm still thinking of her anyhow. These are things that are in his mind, because in his mind he wants her back right now. So you getting in there, you actually, I don't think you're just gonna do yourself any favor. You may be helpful to him a little bit, which could end up to be something later on when he's back on his balance, when he lands on his feet. But who knows when that will be. So it depends on how much generous you want to be to help him out, and don't give him too much hope, and don't be too controlling in oh, I don't have time, this and that. So just simply tell him what it is for you, because you're not responsible for him. And the fact that you think you need him, because obviously you are in pursuit of some relationship, you think you like the guy, and that you liking the guy may end up making you be more available to him than you should be, which would make him feel like you're just nothing special, because he's still thinking of the other girl. So you need to just simply tell him what it is. You're busy with your exams, and you'll be more than happy to take it a month from now, or in the meantime you guys can be in contact once in a while, but you're focused on your studies until that goes away and the month is past, and he'll be in more balanced shape to interact with you. I think that would be something that you should consider. So now, having said that, Olga says, Jen, remember, sometimes people are so depressed they have everything in life. Okay, I know. And Jen says he's also this and that, a dad of 2-year-old child before, but it might not affect. Okay. And Jen says, yeah, it sounded funny, but I don't want to get hurt. Okay. And okay, so it looks like Jen and Olga are talking. Okay, guys, so again, I thank you again for being here. Jen, I hope this was some kind of an answer of some sort, and hope that you will be able to manage it. And Jen says, Olga, no, I haven't, but thank you for the tips. True that. Okay, thank you so much, Mehran, for all your answers. You're the best. I agree with you 100%. Okay, great. Okay, guys, again, don't forget to check that video, and thank you again. Thank you very much for being here. I love you all, and look forward to talk to you again. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.